What's good, YouTube? So today I got another great video for y'all. As I said in the Q&A video, if y'all haven't seen that, go watch it. I'll link it up right here. But as I said in that video, my next plans for the car was to wrap it and to lower it. My number one plan was to wrap it before I even touched anything else. But things have changed because as you can see right now, and as you can see in the title, we're lowering the car today. Go wait because I've been wanting to do this for a year now, but I just never really got to it just because I've been pushing it to the side so much. But it's time to start digging into the car and making the appearance look great and making everything else flow through and just look beautiful on the car. So before I get into installing the EIBACH, I butchered this word the last time, I said EIBACH. But before I get into installing the EIBACH lowering springs on my Camaro, I want to do a little test run to see the difference of before and after. Of course, I'm lowering the car to get a better fitment, better response from the car, and for it to look good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a few test runs. We'll do launch control because we'll see how it takes off. We'll see if anything changes in the feeling for me before and after. And I hope it does. Besides looks, I'm hoping to get the best response there is out of this car. So I just found a road. Hopefully no cars will come right now. That's a car behind me. I'm gonna do an automatic launch so I remember what I did it at, or so I don't have to remember what I did it at and just let the car work its magic. The first one, already in track mode. I already got the traction and sport or whatever it's called. I wonder, that's my big thing that I wonder about, is after I do lower the car, I'm gonna make a U-turn and do it again. But that's one big thing I'm not worried about, but I am curious, is after I lower the car, will it help with traction under pressure? Under pressure meaning under a launch. I think we launched at 2,000 RPMs, and like I said again, everything is under automatic for the car, so the car is just working its magic. So we'll do another launch right here. Hopefully it stays at 2,000 RPMs. I wonder if I can mess with it or not. Oh wait, that might be a cop. Same thing, this second launch. I had to roll into that one a little bit because we were on a downhill and I know the car was just gonna go crazy. It started to lose traction a whole lot. And I'm around a whole bunch of cars. Just as of right now, just feeling everything, feeling how stiff it is. And of course I'm in track, so the steering wheel is very stiff. It feels good, it's very responsive. I'm praying and hoping that after I do this, it'll be a whole lot more responsive, not just in track, but as I'm in tour or sport. I just got to the shop. Let me get everything out the car and set up, and then we'll get straight into it. So before I start, I wanna show y'all the car now. This is before it's lowered. I want to get rid of most of this gap that's right here and most of this gap that's in the back. One thing I messed up on this week. So it was raining all last week in Texas and my tires were bald, like literally, what's a good example? About as, like if I did this is what the tire looked like. It was bald and I hydroplaned last week, so I was stressing to get tires and I found somebody on Marketplace selling brand new tires for $280, and I wasn't gonna miss up on a deal like that. But I bought the tires. I knew I wanted bigger tires, but in the moment I was like, I need them before I crash this car. And so in the fronts I usually have 275 and the rears I have around 285 and up, but I went back to 275 on the rear. The sidewall I went down to 30 just because the man was selling the tires for so much cheaper than what they usually go for. And my front tires right now look bigger than the rears just because the sidewall is this much bigger. So on the front right now I'm running 275, 35, 20, and as you can see it looks fit. Then if you come to the back, this is 275, 30, 20, and it just looks so much smaller than what it is. The width is there barely, but that sidewall being this much smaller makes a fat difference. So after I lower the car, I'm hoping it'll tuck that a little more to where I don't need to go out and buy 315s right now or 305s in the rear just to make it fit a little better. But I'm also hoping that it will let me fit 315s in the rear because I end up planning on moving those tires to the front since they're so brand new. Those are starting to wear down, and I could put maybe get away with 295 and it still looks flush and it isn't smacking the fender in the back. Again, enough talking, let's get straight into it. I plan on doing the fronts first, then I plan on doing the rears after because the rears are easy. The rears are just a spring, and I'll show you everything right now. So this is what we're working with. These are the fronts right here, and these are the rears. And I heard EIBACH is one of the top tier brands to go with, so I went with them. This is no sponsorship, but who knows, this may be one in the near future. So I have all the wheels off. I'm gonna do one side at a time just so when I come back to putting everything back together, I have one side to look at and go off of instead of taking everything off, not knowing what went where, what this, that, and the other. I mean, it's only like 6, 7 bolts that I need to take out, and then the whole thing is down and apart. But you never know, just in case, I'm just doing one side at a time. And I'm not doing a tutorial video or anything like that, so it's gonna be a lot of cuts and chops throughout this video of me taking something out, putting something in, and then just talking about it and just experience about it, because I don't really technically like doing how-to videos or stuff like that because I don't know everything, and if I tell somebody the wrong thing, they're gonna come back and eat me up bad. All right, that's out. So I'm gonna lower the car down, take out the 3 bolts up top, and then we're gonna get the strut out. All right, look, off rip, first try. That's a 13. Not a lot, it's a 12. I was right the first time, it was a 13. And she's out. I need to go compress this spring, and once I get the strut mount out, or the strut out, I'm going to decompress the spring. Then I'm going to come over here, grab the new one, compress this down, put the strut back in there how it is right now, put this top bolt on, and then I'll be back. So the first side is done, the spring is on there, and everything is back together. Sorry for the wind noise. I have the fan on. It's really hot right now because I'm moving around. But it's time to start on that second side, and then we're gonna get to the rears after that. Before I do get started on the other side, I do want y'all to see the stock spring and the EIBACH spring. You can see right here, there is a height difference, and they told me it would be a 1.1 inch drop. And it looks about an inch right here. Looks like it may be lower, but you could definitely see how much it drops and how much shorter this spring is compared to the stock one. Second side is done. About to put it on the car. This went by way quicker than the first time when I was doing it. So the fronts are done. One thing I do wish I did was either paint them before I put them on, or I wish I bought them in red, or they had a red spec with it, because it would have matched beautifully, even though you really can't see it that much. But to me, I know what color it is, and I know what it looks like. It would have looked just so much better if that was red. The brake calipers are red and the springs were red as well too, but they don't look bad at all. Again, sorry for the wind noise, there is a fan on. But yeah, the fronts are done. So now we're gonna come back to the rears. This one should be one bolt and I'm out. I should just take this bolt out right here, loosen this up, take the shocks out, or I don't even have to take them out. I just have to take off the two bolts wherever they are, and then bring the control arm down, swing it down a little bit, and this should pop right out.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That dropped right out. Now this one really isn't that big of a difference, but I can see it's tighter. A whole lot tighter at the top end of it than the bottom. Yeah. Oh my gosh. But I felt like the scooter smacking your ankle. Oh. So as you can see, I just finished putting on the springs. There's the driver rear sitting in there flush, and come to the passenger side. There's that one. They do sit at a weird, like, they curve a bit, and I'm hoping once it sits down and like once everything settles in, it'll be fine. Or I think that's how it was before. But just coming up to the fronts, Everything is in there tight and snug. One issue I will have right now, when I throw the tires back on there and lower the car back down, the lift may not come out. Nine times out of 10, it won't come out. So I'm gonna have to maybe jack up the diff. We're gonna see how silly I look because I didn't want to lower the arms when I was first putting on the car. Yeah, that definitely looks a lot better. Again, I'm gonna have bigger tires in the rear, so that's gonna sit a whole lot more flush than what it is now. It's more than likely going to look like this side looks right now. Oh shoot, smack the camera. To where it's barely, oh my gosh, that sits low. It's gonna look like this side to where it barely sits over the tire. Just barely. Let me go ahead. Oh, it's raining. It might be a part 2 to this video. Not a part 2, but it might be a second day. I can't really do pulls in the rain because the roads are wet. Let me go ahead, torque all the wheels down. Then we're gonna get into doing an alignment on the car. Hopefully it's not too out of spec. So I'll try my best putting all the bolts back to where they came from in their spot, the ones that are adjustable. So it shouldn't be too off. But the front, let's hope that it's not terrible. So I have everything up for the alignment. For the alignment, pretty much if you don't know how to do an alignment, you set up these sensors right here on the wheel, roll it forward onto this right here, and then you turn the wheel all the way right and all the way left until it tells you where to go. But the rear was what I was concerned about, because I was moving the bolts, the adjustment bolts left and right, but it came out literally perfect, dead center, not dead center, but I'm not really stressed about it. In the front, there are no adjustments for the caster because there are no bolts. Those bolts that I was hammering out are the only things that keep the strut in there and still and stiff. They evened out as 8.2 and 8.2. and it's dead center, so I'm not messing with the front whatsoever except for the toe. I'm gonna pull that in, but the rear I'm gonna mess with the camber and the camber just a little bit so that it's not eating up the inside of the tire as much. So I'm gonna loosen up this bad boy right here. As you can see, it's moving slightly, and I'm gonna just twist. That is the wrong way. So we're gonna put you right there. Then this is for the toe. I've never even had to touch the rear until today. So it's kind of fun. Pull that in. I want these as not as straight as possible, but there we go for that side. And maybe not. Looks like it's coming in when I do this one. Oh shoot, that's way too far. And that is going to be good enough for me. Those, good, good, good. And everything else in the rear is definitely perfect. And again, I know this is red, but that is borderline, very much borderline. So I'm not worried about it whatsoever. Okay, since it is raining outside and I just finished the alignment, we're gonna come back tomorrow for my part 2, but still it's all the same video for y'all. But I'm gonna come back tomorrow, test drive the car because I can't today, it's raining. And we're gonna get some cornering, we're gonna do some pulls, and we're gonna have some fun because I'm not doing none of that boring content. So I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow, first thing in the morning.